reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. You're listening to LOTRO Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon at doghousesystems.com.
Welcome to LOTRO Reporter, episode 228. We're back with an regular episode. We kicked the hobbits out. We kept the intrepid reporter, but the grumpy old hobbits, we just left them where they were.
Yep.
So welcome back, Leonor. How have you been?
I have been awesome. And yeah, it's kind of cool to have you, to hear you opening up the show again. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, about this. Yeah, we're going on 3 weeks. Because, well, I had birthday, and it was lovely, and there was Italian food involved, but no Irish pubs.
What?
No.
Missed opportunity.
I celebrated for a whole week, though. I got a birthday. I got a dinner Saturday night. I got a brunch Sunday morning. I got a dinner Tuesday night. Somebody took me to lunch on Wednesday, and somebody took me to lunch on Friday.
Did you keep getting birthday candles every day, too, lit up as you went?
No. It was one of those milestone birthdays, and I'm not going to claim it. So we'll just go. I enjoyed the week. And then I even stretched it into Comic-Con, which was the Saturday after my birthday.
Right.
So we had lovely lunch and, claimed it to be birthday dinner. It worked.
Right. And then we had the awesome, apparently epically famous now, April Fool's episode last week.
Mm-hmm. We got lots of fine comments about how much they missed those hobbits. I think it's mostly the poor intrepid reporter in the bushes.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. I had forgotten how actually funny those guys were.
They were pretty funny, and when I first started listening to the show, they were doing them, and then after a while, I got a bit bored of them, and I just stopped listening to those segments after a while. But to come back and listen to them all in one shot was very. It just brought back a lot of memories, especially for the chat room. The chat room was pulling up. They were listening to those segments and remembering the news that was in each segment that they did that week, because they talked about it. They were talking about people when we used to have to click on renown, or not click on renown, to reputation, turn in. We had to travel all the way back to turn in reputation to get reputation.
Right.
There were other things too where they were talking about, what was it, like 17 hours to go from point A to point B in the Shire?
Yeah. And the young hobbits were getting horses when they had to wait till they were old to get their ponies.
Yep.
And I think, and then there was something about house inventory. So there must have been a big housing inventory change right before free-to-play went live. That I had never even heard of. And what are we doing? We're working on housing inventory.
We're working on housing right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really neat to listen to a lot of that stuff. Quite honestly, all I wanted to do was troll all of our fans.
And guess what? It blew up in your face, didn't it?
It sure did. It got really popular really quick. I'm like, dang it, maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe we can try something else. Well, what have you been doing while I have been away?
I haven't been playing too much, but when I did, I was in the Ettenmoors.
Okay.
And somebody, I can't remember his name, but a fan of the show, I think it was yesterday, came and messaged me in game and said, "Hey, Leonore, what's the percentage at for the Ettenmoors? Until my next rank." And I told him I was at 15.30 or 40%, something like that. And he said, "Well, you got to get to 16 before the show."
Yeah. And?
So I got to 16.
Oh, yay!
I'm at 16.47% right now.
Cool. That is awesome.
I had a really good, I think it was Friday. No, Saturday. I think it was Saturday. Saturday I got around 21k renown. That was using one of the double renown scrolls that last for about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I think I used 2 of those, so probably 3 hours. But that is a insane amount of renown to get in one day.
That is a lot. That's really cool. Congratulations. So
Thank
that
you.
says 16.47 to 14 or 15?
16.47 into this rank.
Okay.
So I'm not even 25% yet, but I'm getting there.
All right. Yay.
And what have you been doing?
I logged into some servers I don't often log into and discovered that I owed housing bills and had to actually quest to get enough money to pay the housing bill.
Oh, you didn't even have money?
I had run out of money, yeah.
How do you run out of money?
Well, if you take all the money with you when you transfer your character.
Oh.
Yeah, I left them some money. They just hadn't leveled any to earn any more, and they hadn't and the Hobbit presents weren't giving them any cash. And I have a deluxe house on Crick Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's kind of expensive to keep up and running. So we did some questing, and then a friend of mine noticed I was on, and we chatted for a while. He's got 2 level 95s, and the last time I talked to him, he was doing it all free to play.
Oh.
Yeah, like doing it the hard way, and he's got a 95 Hunter and a 95 Berg, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he did it free to play. Is he subscribing now, or?
I did not ask. I didn't get that far, but we were chatting about, I congratulated him on his 95, and he said he had 2 at 2, and then we were just chatting a little bit. Crick Hollow seemed to be pretty quiet.
Like that quiet?
Yeah, it was pretty quiet. But it's it's a nice server. They've got when I was on there before, they had a pretty good, very core group of RPers that would meet a lot and do some RP events, which were kind of fun. They had the craziest dwarf ever on there. He was awesome. And that's
I know we do have some quiet servers, but there are people that do like quiet servers, so it is kind of nice to have a option.
Yes, it is, and it didn't take me too awfully long to get enough cash to pay for housing. I'm still like to get a little. I think I've got about maybe 3 weeks paid for on that one, so I need to go quest a little more on there. I'm thinking a champion might be a little faster at killing things than a guardian would be. So my champion has been put in charge of getting getting the task stuff to turn in to get money.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's what we've been doing this week and the last few weeks in game. Well, in news this week, basically the big news was the Update 13 public live stream that they had. And while I was away, Chris got a Update 13 walkthrough, so you guys got to see that with Rowan and him. But I wanted to go over some of the stuff that if you didn't have time to watch the live stream, you might want to know. So do you want to know some of this stuff, Leonor?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, Update 13 is the story of how Isengard got flooded.
Ooh.
Yay, end play. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah, I think, how long was that? I think Chris put out a whole entire 1 hour special of end play with the devs.
Did he? Was it that one?
I think it's an hour long. It's like 45 or 55 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it just wasn't him and Leo and Rowan and all that just sitting there and saying end play over and over.
Yeah, I'm sure he was like super excited to see it.
Mm-hmm. They
Go ahead.
they were they all sounded like very sarcastic, like, okay, Chris, you can shut up about it now.
No, you know what the next thing is going to be?
Eagles.
No, I've decided the next thing is going to be um, creeps in the wide world. That seems to be the thing everybody's asking for these days.
As mounts?
No, as hey, I'd be happy with that. But as you walk out of Bree and a warg jumps on you in the wide world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing it. I would like to see it in areas where war is going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Seeing it then, like some places in Rohan and some places over in Agmar. Oh, I'd love to see it in Agmar. But Bree and the Shire and all that, historically, story-wise, it doesn't belong there.
This is very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
Now there were people very concerned that if they hadn't seen Isengard, they would not get to see pre-flooded Isengard. And Maid of Lions told us on the live stream that the content will not go away, that flooded Isengard is contiguous with Western Rohan, and the previous version of Isengard is adjacent to Dunland.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still access both of them in-game. And you can still do quests and content in both after Update 13.
Right, so you're going to be able to quest in Isengard the way it is right now, and I don't know if you cross over or if you got to go all the way around Rohan.
There is a note in here that says that
I think there was like something like a portal or something that you go through like Moria. When you cross over, then you get to see Isengard flooded, and then you can quest around in that area, something like that.
Yeah, somebody did say there was a portal between the two Isengards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you're very excited to know what it's going to take to actually get this content. Well, here's your answer. It is not a quest pack. You need to own Helm's Deep to get it. And it is free for everyone who owns Helm's Deep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
I am too. So if you had not picked up Helm's Deep, then somebody asked if they were going to have Helm's Deep on sale soon, and he's like, I don't know.
not for a little while.
And he's thinking, not for probably 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what kind of question is that? Yeah, so if you want to see Flooded Isengard, you can see it. You can, as always, you can travel there and see the landscape itself, and you can kill mobs there. But the quest packs and the session play and all of that is tied to owning Helm's Deep.
Right.
Yeah, Maid of Lions says they did create a waypoint to telegraph between the two regions.
Okay.
And it is not gated, so you can go see it.
Yeah, I think they even said that you could take a chicken through.
Yep, you can take the chicken through the portal. So if you want to take your chicken to Flooded Isengard, you can.
I'm going to take my chicken to Rohan.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk right into to Helm's Deep, right there.
Mm-hmm. With
all my chicken awesomeness.
Well, you gotta get to Isengard first.
We'll see. If Sapiens can do it multiple times, I can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There was a concern that there is a lot of session play. Maid of Lions did say if session play is not your thing, you can skip it and move on in the epic story, and then if you decide to come back, they'll be standing there waiting for you, sadly.
Skip session play? That's kind of weird.
Some people don't like session play at all. I don't know.
I don't like that it logs me out all the way, and puts me into a different instance or something like that. I think that's kind of weird.
Oh, but you do know for your player made channels you can still talk, right?
Yep, you can still talk to everybody.
Yeah, you have the little squiggly.
But it's still weird though. I mean, it does actually physically log you off and then log you back on with the squiggly in the front of your name.
Yep. It's kind of, yeah, it is a little odd.
And for some people that have slower computers, that takes a long time.
I could see where that would be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you don't want to do it at the time because you think it might break the flow of your gameplay, or sometimes that session play can take a long time and it's like, I don't know if I want to spend 30 minutes doing this.
Right.
Then you skip it, they'll be back. You can be back. And they did a preview of Session Play's Treeboard, otherwise known as End Play. Yes, I don't know why you'd want to skip End Play. I don't.
I hope you can keep replaying it. For
Yes,
Chris's sake.
you can. You go to the little book in Rivendell. There's a little book in Rivendell. That I know there's a book in Rivendell. I think there's other places that you can replay those.
Right.
That's cool. Somebody asked them, what's the new class and when will it be in? And he says he would have said it was in play if it had been April 1st, but...
You're lucky you didn't.
Yeah. So the class is going to be described in the next producer's letter, which is coming out the same day that Update 13 launches. But which is April 14th, peeps. So be ready. Get everything ready to go.
Start putting up your betting threads.
But he didn't say, and I noticed he said he was going to describe it. He didn't say he was actually going to tell us the name of it.
Yeah, he did say describe. What I think it is, what was it? It was on Massively. There was an article that was talking about it, and they were talking about the buffing and debuffing were not really represented at this moment. There are a little bit, through the Lore Master and a couple of the other classes, but there really isn't a class that is focused on those. So I think it's going to be something that is tied into Gondor. And I think it's going to be something, this is my opinion, I think it's going to be something like a commander or something like that. And I would think that it can be an elf, it can be a dwarf as well, human, possibly even hobbit. And I think that it's going to be a melee class, because melee classes, if we had more melee classes, they're a safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't throw things off that bad. Like if they made another healer, a third healer or a fourth healer, there's just too many at that point. But melees, or at least DPS classes, we're pretty safe with those. So it's probably going to be something like a melee class with buffing and debuffing as the second trait lines. That's my guess. What is your guess?
I don't know that we've got I know we've got their arcade that's kind of a damage over time, but I could imagine kind of for lack of a better, kind of like a warlock in WoW, where you hit them with a bunch of damage over times and then they're dead before they realize, they get 10 steps away kind of thing.
Yes.
And then maybe some roots and some more things like that, kind of like
kind of like a controlling,
yeah,
like a control class.
Yeah, like a control class with some more damage over time kind of things. What
Right.
that would look like in the lore, I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, it can't be anything like poison or anything like that, because that's more of a orc type of thing. There is a class in Guild Wars 1 called the Mesmer that used to do a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. I
love those. Those were really cool. I used to call it my get everybody sick class.
Yeah. I've got a friend that plays a warlock in WoW, and he's like, in PvP, he's like, by the time they see me, they're dead, and they don't even know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting. In their lore and in the books, they do talk about sorcerers and stuff like that. I highly doubt that we're going to be playing anything like that, but it's a possibility. He did say that they are mentioned in the books, not often, but a few times. He didn't say anything about if they were mentioned in the movies at all.
Yeah, and they did cut quite a bit of. Oh, we're all going to have a Tom Bombadil class.
Tom Bombadil class. Okay.
There we go. We'll just all quote silly songs. Perfect. Somebody was suggesting the shapeshifter, shape changer kind of class. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they describe it next week.
That would be pretty lore safe, but those shape changers are supposed to be kind of rare to find.
This is true. This is very true.
Like finding a Dunedain Ranger. You're not going to really find one just walking in debris one day.
I know it's going to be okay. Every third person who rolls this new class gets to be a ranger, and then there's a shapeshifter. And then there's one of the wizards, and there we go. We'll just it's random.
Yay! Oh, that would be terrible. What if all of the classes just at random moments? Oh, I'm a minstrel now. Ooh.
Would be awesome.
Yeah, that would suck. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, so we are getting close to the end of volume 3. Yes. We are in book 14. We will be in book 14, and that is the final book of volume 3. So we'll be starting a new volume fairly soon. They're working in it now. Made of Lions is super excited about it.
Oh, no kidding! I think even Made of Lions said at some point that we've been in volume 3 for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, time to end that thing.
Yep. Yep. And then he was talking about the different kind of things in. So we're going to be in Fangorn, right?
Yes.
And so we have 3 different kinds. From what I understand, we have 3 different kinds of quests in Fangorn.
Yeah, we're going to get something along the lines of a Hootbolt Daily system. Mm-hmm. Which isn't bad. I remember when they first came out, I got tired of them pretty quickly, and right now I'm like, I wouldn't mind some of those repeatables.
Yeah.
What else did we got?
We've got the Huron Pet Bestower.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to give us some quests, which sounds like they're kind of the auto bestow. So it sounds like you have to go around and discover the different areas of Fangorn to get the quests from the Huron pet. He says he'll follow us around and bestow quests at different spots in the forest as he discovers things that need doing.
Oh, okay.
So this is different than the pet that we're going to get.
We're getting pets?
Yeah, we're getting the little Huron trees.
What?
Yes, the pet is a tree.
We're getting a pet tree?
Yes.
Why are we getting a pet tree?
You weren't around for the pet tree. I whined and cried and sniveled. It was terrible. Yes, the pet we're getting, Lenore, is a tree.
Why are we... what?
Yes, it's a little baby tree. It looks like a little baby haunted tree from the haunted trees that we get at Halloween.
What?
Yes.
How
does that fit in the lore? I asked the same question. I do not know the answer to that question. But our pet, our cosmetic pet, is a baby tree. There are 3 different kinds of baby trees we can get.
I hope one's a weeping willow.
I don't know what.
What? How do they even keep up with this?
I don't know.
Well, I can say that this is a good start for a pet system for cosmetic pets. A tree?
A tree.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tree. And then the third thing is 3 new resource instances.
Yeah, I did hear about those.
Oh.
Resource instances are always kind of fun to just dive in and get resources.
Oh, and then there's a 4th type, which is called incrementals.
Incrementals.
Incrementals will have anywhere between 4 and 6 objectives to them, and we can only do 1 objective per day.
Oh.
Sounds interesting.
Huh. Okay.
Yes. And then the disappointed music came out when people heard no group content. But there are active plans for a new epic battle coming with 14.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that means that this Hitbolt stuff isn't group content though either in the new area.
Yeah, that's
so
what.
You can't group quest these things. Wow.
Yep. No.
Or I'm looking too far into it.
Well, maybe they meant group as in 3-mans, 6-mans, 12-mans.
Yeah.
Because they did say no group content, and then they put those big old monsters on the landscape.
Right.
And that was designed for groups.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a raid.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of content.
It does sound like quite a bit of content. That was in 14 though. The new epic battle will be in 14. Okay. Will cosmetic pets be usable in raids and instant spaces, or will it be disallowed? They can be used anywhere. The funniest thing, and from what I understand, they're your client side, so people won't see you walking around with them.
Oh, really?
That's what I thought I read.
Hmm.
They were actually client sites. And you can have 2 pets out. You can have your little foreign pet and your other pets, or your banners or whatever.
Well, actually, that's kind of weird. There's really no reason to have a pet out to show off your pet if nobody can see your pet.
I think that's what I read. I might have read it wrong. They can be used anywhere. They will likely not be allowed in the Entenmoors. They are currently dealing with an issue where they don't swim. The notion of a water volume is a server type thing, so the pet doesn't know about it since the server doesn't see the pet and the pet doesn't see the server. So they are trying to make the pets float, and the engineer who was working on it was showing it to him, and the pet would get about halfway into a pond and follow him, or the engineer would get about halfway into the pond, and the pet would follow him about halfway and then beeline for the shoreline. But they said the pet is only aware of the movement path of the character is taking, so the engineer has no idea how the pet knows that is moving autonomously and knows where the shoreline is because the pet doesn't see the server. I think the pets became self-aware.
That's it. It's the Cyberdyne trees. That's it. It's the end of the Middle Earth. That's it. Sorry.
Yep.
We need John Connor. John Connor going to come in and kill all the trees.
Yes, apparently.
Those are all Terminator references, by the way, and this is the wrong show to be doing these on.
I Terminator. I've seen many a Terminator. They asked if Creepside was going to get any cosmetic pets, like a baby warg, and the answer was it's undecided. Apparently, creeps are basically session players. I didn't know that. Did you know that creeps were session players?
I didn't know that either. I know you can switch over just like you would in session play, kind of. Mm-hmm. It feels like a character select screen, but I guess it's a session play. So that's kind of neat. It's kind of neat that they do have it set up where you can get ranks and stuff to improve a session play character, if that's the case.
Yep, that's what they said. It's basically session play.
So that would be kind of cool to do that in other areas, like say, get a ranger and run around and improve your ranger and stuff through session play sessions. Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome. That would be... I would love to do that, Turbine.
Like get your ranger and improve a ranger, like
hopping on a ranger and doing a whole bunch of dailies and stuff, and go on cool adventures with your ranger. And when you come back, you get a bunch of seals and medallions and stuff.
That would be super cool. That would be super cool. They were asked about if epic battles are replacing classic raids going forward, or if there's going to be at some point in the future where they can expect classic type instances. There was a big old long wall of text, but basically it's a single type of instance is not going to replace or obviate the need or ability for any of the others. It depends on where they are in the story. So like Pelennor Fields, we know we're going to see epic battle stuff, and we may see mounted combat stuff. But that doesn't mean that like Shelob's Lair isn't going to be some kind of raid or session play kind of thing.
Right.
It all depends on what the story requires, what we're going to get.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that do feel that epic battles needed to be made, just to have it for some of these big battles that are coming up. And other than that, I can't even really think of too many places that would have instance hubs. They might have to get a little creative with that. I would love to see the Paths of the Dead, of course, be like a 3 or 6 man or something like that for whatever reason that takes us in there. That would be great. And Turbine, you better make that place too. I'm telling you.
They promised they would. They said they would get us into the Paths of the Dead this year.
Oh, this year?
I believe that's what Kate's letter said, that they would get us into we would be heading into the Paths of the Dead this year.
Well, forget Fangorn.
I could see.
It'll probably come out around October.
Yeah, probably. Now I could see some of the levels of the city of Gondor during the battle being instances, 6, 12-man raids and instances.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people can see it as epic battles as well, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would hope more instance content though than the epic battles on that. But it could go either way. Yeah, and I know we're going to be getting a lot of session play because we've got a lot of epic story stuff coming up soon.
Yes, that's skippable apparently.
Yeah, if you're not interested in what the Fellowship's doing this week, don't really care where Frodo's at in his journey to save the world. Just skip the session play. You'll be fine.
Skip DVD 2 to go directly to DVD 3.
Yeah. And we're getting new jewelry.
New jewelry. Yes, I did read a little bit about this. Go ahead, tell us more.
They are making 2 changes to the Epic Battle Rewards, both relating to the Platinum Bar. As of right now, when they fill the Platinum Bar, there are 10 different real items that you can get that belong to sets. So they, and then they may get one of 4 orange items. They are switching out some of the orange items. They're getting 6 more orange items, but they're pulling the 4 that they're already in there out. So they're kind of making a switch up on that. And there is also a chance of getting a 95 first aid symbol in an epic battle when you platinum.
Okay. So they're pulling out the teals and the platinums and putting in 6 new, we call them golds usually. They're putting in six new golds.
They said the 4 that we could earn beforehand will be disappearing from the list for a while and may potentially come back at a later point in time. So it's like, okay, well, you've gotten the same 4 things 4 times. Okay, now we're going to not give you those for a while so you can get the other 6.
Okay.
I think that's what they're saying. I mean,
but we're still going to be getting those. We're still going to be getting teals as well.
Yes.
Including these oranges or golds.
Yes, the golds are upgraded versions of the 10 teal items. 6 of them are going to be in. The 4 that have been in are getting pulled out.
Okay, gotcha.
They're rotating stock.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they're rotating that stuff out like that. I wonder if later on this year they're going to have both tiers of sets as the rewards, or if it's going to be some sort of like barter points for these jewelry things later on down the line.
Mm-hmm. That would be very interesting to know. Now I'm sure you are absolutely dying to know, Leonor, how you can get your first age weapons in Update 13.
Oh yeah, I sat down and read this back to back.
You can get
First agers are apparently going to be very rare. They're going to drop in epic battles. They're going to be dropping in tier 3 skirmishes. I think they said instances. Actually, no, they didn't say anything about instances, did they?
He says probably the challenges.
Oh, challenges.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a chance wherever you can get a second ager, you're going to get a first ager.
Okay. I haven't seen a second ager in a long, long time. So I'm going to have to ask around because I need to get one.
Yeah, it's not just the T3 skirmish raids. There are other ways to get the first agers.
Yes, there are multiple ways. I would like to know if rank 13 people that are in the Moors are going to be getting their first agers or not as well, since the barter guy is out there with first agers for level 85.
That's what did he say? There was a question about that. Where was the answer to that? I thought the answer was they wanted people to do hard content for a while before they let people buy them.
Okay. I don't think he means the Moors, though. I think he means putting them into the skirmish barters.
Okay.
But, yeah, we'll have to see. But that would be great. I would, especially if it's in the scalable instances, like, like the challenges, like you said, that's great reason to go back and start playing all those old content things again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. When you log in on the 14th, you may have a whole bunch of loot boxes in your inventory. Make some space. They did quite a bit of deed revamping in Update 13, this is the first I've heard that they were revamping deeds.
So deeds get loot boxes now?
Yes.
Wow.
So they looked at all the deeds. They made sure all the regions had a suitable mix of Slayer deeds and meta deeds that wrapped up the different categories, and that there was a meta deed that wrapped up each of the regions. There are about 70 new deeds in the game. I just know everybody wanted 70 more deeds. Here they are. They also looked at how well those deeds were rewarded. So all of the region meta deeds are going to give you a loot box that is appropriate to the level range of the region. So level 95s are getting level 10 loot boxes. As part of an update and looking at feedback on how this goes, all of these loot boxes now come with a key.
Oh.
So you don't have to buy a key in the store. You may. Yes, because people were like, why are you giving me this garbage? Because I'm not going to go spend 100 TP to get a key for this.
Holy crap, I might get like 20 keys out of this.
He thinks there are up to 17 that players can get for new meta deeds for the regions, and all of them will come with a key, so players can open them immediately if you'd like to, or you can parcel them out and sell them off. It's your choice.
I'm going to be the key master.
But you're not left with an inventory full of loot boxes as rewards that you can't do anything with. So thank you, Turbine. I appreciate that. So
boom, your bags are full.
Yeah, make sure you have 17 up to 17 spots available when you log out.
Better learn how to use those new bags real quick.
All right, Draculetta says they are unbound keys, so you may sell them.
Nice.
And he says the meta deeds are the ones that get you the loot boxes. So there are 17 meta deeds.
Awesome. I hope all those meta deeds also have horses.
No, but we're gonna have to go back and work on that. There's a couple horses I want on Landreval.
Unfortunately, the only way to get the Michael Delving horse was through the Bounder's bounty.
Yeah.
Thing that was going on, and that's the Michael Delving horse. That should be some sort of a meta deed there. It's very unfortunate to see that horse be there and then gone, and nobody can ever get it again. It was actually a very detailed horse.
I love that horse. I have that. I have the Warsteed appearance for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little sad to put that on my elf and not my hobbit because of all of the pots and pans and stuff, but well.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting when that comes out. So, if anybody wants to hoard keys and buy keys, wait for the update to come out. Wait about 3-4 days. Go in the auction hall, buy all the keys that you can because they're all going to be cheap.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's going to be getting 5, 6, 8, 12.
Yeah, depending on how many had actually completed all of the meta deeds for the areas. I'm interested to see how much I got.
Mm-hmm.
And to help out with all of this, new cosmetics and stuff that we hope are coming with this update. Horstad believes there are extra slots for wardrobe space being added. He is not sure about the other space, which would be shared storage.
Mm-hmm.
He believes that they are making extra bag slots available with the changes to how bags works, but he's not sure, and it may not be the right time to talk about that yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we better talk about it soon. I think it's going to be out next week.
Yeah, but perhaps they're not going. Perhaps they're not going to make additional bags available for purchase till 14 or something.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right, the Misty Mountains, the Trollshaws, and the North Downs have been updated. I'm really excited. I have a couple characters that are about the North Downs area.
Mm-hmm.
They did get all 3 of them done. They looked at the quest flow. The North Downs actually covered 38 levels.
Wow.
That's a lot of levels.
Mm-hmm.
It was unwieldy. The flow wasn't good. As we all know, the flow to the North Downs was not good.
Mm-hmm.
And the distribution of quests needed a whole lot of work. So with a lot of the remote bestows they have now, they were able to kind of tighten some of that up a little bit.
Those also might be coming with meta deeds, hopefully with horses as well. A Trollshaw horse, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool. They didn't say anything about horses, though, Leonor.
I know.
And then they talked about how awesome they thought the live stream were, and they would try to do this again.
Very cool, yeah. I hope they do it every week.
Mm-hmm. And then Sapiens teased us with the Kingsfoil Championship League Chicken Championships. Yes, the chicken. I'm going to call it chicken hockey. I know that's not the name of it, but that's what I'm going to call it. It's chicken hockey.
Chicken hockey.
Yes. So April 1st, Mayor Will Woodfoot unveiled plans for the Middle-earth's first major sports league, the Kingsfoil Championship League. The league will bring together teams from as far away as Dunland and possibly beyond, which would be what, Mordor?
Mordor.
Though Woodfoot did acknowledge events in the East are a source of concern and some teams in their ability to travel at this time. So they have yes. And happy April 1st, guys.
Somebody's going to name something like that anyway, like a kinship or something. Kingsfoil Championship League.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to. As soon as this game comes out, they're going to. And also, the Players' Council applications have opened up. The applications are going to close on 4/14. And if you haven't put one in and you want to join the Players' Council, you need to do it soon.
Yes. Yes, the information is there. Basically, you need to be over 18. You can't be somebody who's sitting there talking to their loyal listeners on the podcast week after week. We're ineligible, which is completely fine. I understand why.
I think it's anybody in media. So even if you write a blog or something like that, they kind of consider that media, so you won't be able to be eligible for that.
Yeah. They very much clarified it this year to help people who were confused about what media exactly fell under.
what we kind of assume what the Players Council is Turbine will come to the Players Council and show them ideas and plans that they have and things like that, and they want to have your opinion on how they like it, how the Player Council likes it. Is it does it break lore? Does it just sound like it's gonna suck?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Nobody really exactly knows what the Players Council does, but we can kind of assume that they do things like that.
Yeah. I do recall in a thread they were talking about how they couldn't really tell us what they did because a lot of this stuff is like even pre-Palantir. So it's like, okay, what if we turn the sky green? What would you think of that kind of thing? Or what if we, gave everybody a flying eagle? What would you think? That kind of blue sky thinking. All right, guys, if we did this, what do you think the players would like? That kind, and it may not even ever show up in game, but they're trying to, it's even pre-Palantir, which is like way, way early.
Yeah, just player opinions, I think, is what mainly it is. I know I know they have got together and suggested things. The horse, make all of your horses maximum speed option that is in the Turbine store right now. That was their idea. And there was a couple of things too. I think they came up with the idea to expand on our mailbox. Is that? I know everybody wanted that, but I think the Players Council pushed that.
Yeah, and there was something else that Sapiens had specifically pointed to as a Player Council suggested change, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, there were a few things that they suggested, and they did get them into the game. So it's a opinion thing, and Turbine really values having them around.
Yes. All right. So that's it for the news this week. There was a lot. I'm surprised. So, Leonor, what exactly did you know this week?
Not much, but I did know one thing: how to reskin my UI. Well, actually, this isn't a did you know about how to. This is more of a you can, and it will look very cool if you did. It is over on LOTROinterface.com, and there is a very cool UI skin. A bunch of skins. What's a good word for a bunch of skins?
Group?
A group. A group of skins. Let's see, how many there are 20 here, and they have all kinds of themes that you can change your UI with. Now, if you don't know what your UI is the things that you look at as you're playing the game, such as your bags, your hotbars, your skill panel, your character, where it shows up all your gear, things like that. That is your UI. Your life bar, that's all your UI. And what these do, this reskins them and gives them a theme. So what we have some very cool ice themes. We have some fiery themes, and we have some lore themes, which are Rohan, where you have a lot of horses in a lot of the skill bars and stuff like that. We have a Hobbit theme where you can make your skill bar look like a Hobbit home. There are a lot of really cool elven ones. And there are some where if you don't like all of the extra added art that Turbine puts into their skins, they also have ones that are just bare bones and just black backgrounds, maybe a little bit of color here and there, but very, very minimal. And those I like the most because it just keeps my screen looking clean.
Yeah, I use the BGM green. That it has a big, it makes the the outfit preview big, and then it's just a nice, clean black and green user interface. And that's my favorite. That's the one I always use.
Another thing that comes with these that are player made are little updates to the game that people put in. There are they pretty much expand on every panel. Barter panels, you know, the panel is larger, so you can see a lot more things on your screen at once.
Mm-hmm.
There is a mail that's expanded, so if you get like 20 letters, you can see almost all of them on the screen. Auction hall is a great thing to have expanded on, and I think they even made they condensed the auctions a little bit too, so you get more on the screen. Nice. Which is very cool, especially when you're looking for something cheap. Like you said, the wardrobe panel is bigger. You actually get to see your outfit, which is very cool.
Especially when you're taking picture. Mevasut calls the UI the stuff that goes away when you hit F12.
I took a lot of screenshots, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
And Draculetta suggests a plethora for the number of skins that are on that site. Plethora. That's a good word. Plethora.
There was just another thing too. What was it? Oh yes. There was a problem with Dragok where when you killed him, it would only show the loots. It would only show like 4 or 5 loot on the screen for everybody to roll on. What they did in the player-made UIs, they actually expanded that so you can see up to, I think it was 8 or 10 different items that came up from Dragok.
Oh.
It didn't add more items, but what it did, it showed all of the items that Dragok dropped.
Okay.
So there are a lot of really cool small improvements, quality of life type of things in these UIs, and they are very cool to use.
That is super cool. And that is this week's Did You Know? Leonor, are you going to be in Boston? Are you going to Boston this weekend?
I hope not.
Oh, so you're not going to be in Boston, huh?
No, I don't like the White Sox.
Well, there's other reasons to be in Boston this weekend.
Yes, the PAX meet and greet is going to be going on Friday, April 11th, 2014, which is this year.
Yeah, I hope it's this year. Or I've been putting the wrong year on stuff for 4 months now.
It's going to be at the Bell in Hand Tavern, which is in Boston. I don't need to really say the street, do I?
No.
We have all the information. It's going to be in the show notes. The phone number, the time, which is 7:30 till 9 p.m. of course. Let's see, I was just thinking about kids. It's written down right here.
21 and plus only, no exceptions. It is a bar.
Yes, it is a bar. Plus,
and the tab is on you.
the tab is on you, and it's Lord of the Rings. You're gonna sit down. You're gonna have a big pint anyway.
Yep, you're gonna have a pint anyway. But yeah, so if you're in Boston area, or if you're there for PAX, be sure to check it out. I know Sapiens will be there. I will bet you will get some of the other devs because, it's in their backyard, and why not? They're going. I also do believe that the customer service phones are closed the weekend of PAX, so please don't try to call them because they won't answer.
Yeah, you're going to have to go to Boston and talk to them personally.
Mm-hmm. If you can find them on the show floor at PAX. Yeah. And if you cannot make it to PAX, perhaps you can log into Landreval and attend the TSO classical concert. It is on April 12th at 4 p.m. server time. It is going to be held at 7 Fairwood Lane, Imrith Irvin Thalatham Homesteads, Ered Luen on Landreval. They will be playing Mozart, Grieg, Dvorak, and many other of the 24-member orchestra.
Ooh.
I am not going to be here to watch that, but I bet that's going to amazing. That's two raids, right?
Yeah.
Somehow they are managing to get 2 raids of people in sync.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's why they're doing it in the homesteads. That's so they have less lag.
Yes.
I bet.
That's
a good idea.
That or they are concerned about people being rude, and they can kick them out.
Well, I'm not going to be there.
No, you're not. Well, you might decide to go, and
I might.
and they won't let you be rude.
I won't. I got this little button that says rude on it, so we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to get this to play. I don't think it's going to work.
Okay. We don't have to play it. Carrie.
Yeah.
We have this video that I found on YouTube this week, and unfortunately, I cannot pronounce her name. It is the story of
Narmaleth.
Narmaleth. Narmaleth. Marmalade?
No, Marmaleth.
It is the Epic Story, Volume 1. What do you call it? It's small segments of all of the Narmaleth story.
Yeah, and it's actually a good story.
It's a really good story. They have a lot of the writing that you can read along with it, and they have a really good song put to it too.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's just another word that I can't think of tonight.
What, the song?
A collage.
I guess so.
It's a plethora of clips.
Plethora of clips. There we go. Plethora
I
of
like
clips.
that word. And we have a plethora of mail.
We do. We have.
With a plethora of words.
Yes, it's a wall of text. Thank you to Kevin Bergman for this lovely, lovely letter. We were going to have to condense the ideas a little bit in the letter because he's got many points. But thank you for the letter. He does say we do a good job, and he always enjoys it. Thank you for giving us the feedback. He is the gentleman that wrote us a couple weeks ago talking about trying to platinum the epic battles.
Ah.
And
okay.
Maybe it was a month ago or so. And then he had the idea of the instances, one-on-one instances with creeps and freeps.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I remember that.
So he had managed to actually figure out how to platinum big battles. I guess you can. I did not know this, but the minis can heal the soldiers in the big battles. I thought I tried that and it didn't work, but there's a repair Helm's Deep skill that you can use, that minis can use, and that made it easier for them to complete the deeping wall with a platinum on their first run through.
Really?
And apparently you can repair ladders, banners, whatever.
I know you can repair all that stuff, but I didn't know that
you
also
can heal
applied to... Oh, you can heal.
Yeah, you can heal it.
Really? You can heal a flag.
That's what he says. He says you can heal the ladders and the hooks and the banners in conjunction with the healing skills. That's what he says in point 1.
Wow. I would have to probably ask then, do you have to directly heal it, or can you do AoE heals?
You know what, Leonor? I think we need to log in later this week to find out.
Yep, I think so. You got a lot of epic battles you need to do.
I do. I have only done a few of them.
Call me when you're done.
Okay. I'll let you know if I can heal the banners. I usually do try to repair the banners because that one stupid goblin always goes straight for the darn banner.
Oh yeah. I'm maxed out on that tier for repairs, so I just sit there and I just repair everything as quickly as possible. Those little goblins annoy me.
Yeah, well, I'm not maxed out, and they still annoy me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a plethora of goblins, and I just Second point. Common complaint he hears about is the glittering caves, that it's bugged, and that Gimli randomly dies. Well, poor Gimli. Um, he said that it used to happen to him during the preparing the charge side quest until one run he saw a warg in the caves running around as if it lost its squeaky toy. When he went to check where it could have come from, he found the area where Gimli is stationed at the Eastern Front was getting swarmed with ads from a side quest. And,
Wow.
and Gimli was foolishly taking them all on. So he wasn't randomly dying, he was just failing at his tanking responsibilities. And he didn't get tossed far enough.
Wow.
So from then on, if he's running the 3-person glittering caves, one person will leave halfway through the quest and go help Gimli out, and he hasn't died since.
All right, so there's a workaround.
There is.
Very cool.
Don't let Gimli fail in his tanking abilities. And the third point is he doesn't seem to think that people are all that impressed with epic battles. I wonder where he gets that impression.
Yeah, it's new to me.
Yeah. He noticed that Vanguard skill line seems pretty broken and useless, and that the engineer is the one to go with. So I take it there are lots and lots of engineers running.
It does seem broken and useless. I remember when Turbine was first talking to us about it, that you could go out and just kind of AoE things and kill things, and you'll get these pips, and these pips will make you do 50% more damage and give you a huge, bigger attack, shing shing type of a thing. And
not so much.
I don't see anybody use it, mainly because nothing is really attacking us. There are situations where we need to do a little side quest here and there where things are attacking us, but not really. So there's no, I'm not going to say no reason, I almost did, but it's just kind of weird to treat that way when everything is being attacked other than you, and you need to go out there and repair or build catapults the entire time. So it is a bit of a weird line to go down. But if you have one champion who is all just maxed out and he goes down that one line, you could probably put him in some key areas strategically and have him hold a lot of things too. So it's hard to say how useful that thing is.
Well, Kevin has a suggestion. What do you think would it make it any better if maybe they took the traps away from the engineer and gave them to the Vanguard?
No.
Okay.
No, I think that would be kind of silly. The Vanguard's supposed to be the death dealer, the one that goes out there and is the hero. He stands on top of the wall and just cuts things down as quickly as possible, like Legolas did and Gimli did and Aragorn. They're the ones that are up there and just hold the line. If they were to give, sure, I guess we could give them traps and stuff. They could put traps down. And that's more of an engineering thing.
Yeah, well, his thought was they could maybe slow down the enemy at some strategic places, especially with some of the side quests.
I think that they do need something.
And,
but exactly, like traps, I don't think so.
Okay.
It would be very cool if the Vanguard was the only one to actually have a tanking ability to bring things to them to fight.
Yeah, because they completely ignore aggro at this point. They
That would be pretty cool to actually have them do that, and that line would be very, very useful. Even if it was just something that they could click on every 5 minutes or something like that to pull everything to them for 10 seconds. Useful.
Yeah, that does sound like that would be super useful. All right, everybody, pay attention to me. Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Kevin, for your letter. those
Very cool.
Yes, and
write us another one. We love them.
Yeah, we do love letters. And you can, as Lily Kate, who is the TSO, wrote us and told us about the TSO concert, and Kevin wrote us, you can email us at lotro.reporter@gmail.com. You can also talk to us on Twitter at Lotro Reporter. You're mostly going to get me responding. Be prepared for that. You can check us out on Facebook. Just do a search for Lotro Reporter. You can also leave us a voicemail at 616-666-6778 or the widget on the right-hand side of your screen when you visit our site, which is LotroReporter.com. I do not know how often Chris checks that, so if you did send us a message and ping me up on Twitter and let me know you did, and I'll tell Chris to look it up. We are now putting the audio of all of our podcasts on YouTube, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So if you would prefer to find us on YouTube, it's www.youtube.com/user/MMO Reporter Network. I know some streaming stuff's been going up there and some stuff like that. Also, be sure to follow us at twitch.tv/MMO Reporter. Be sure to subscribe to us so you know when we go live. We've got, 6 shows on the network now, and with ESO coming out, we had, I think Chris streamed ESO for 11 hours launch day.
Yeah. That's a long time. I'm not even sure he was eating. I don't know. That's just wow.
Yeah, that's getting up there with the 24 hours for Extra Life, which we also stream. And about 5 in the morning, you hear me whine and snivel, and everybody get really silly, and me whine and snivel a lot.
Yeah, there's no censoring a lot of that stuff in the morning.
No, there's lots of "I lost you, come get me, I'm going to die." You can follow me on Twitter at @theCarrieMac. It's TheCarrimac. That is mostly just observations of life, liberty, and the strangeness that goes on in the world. And how can they follow you, Leonor?
They can follow me at Leonor, Layanor, where I'm posting all kinds of stupid, silly things. And I've also posted a picture of my new dog.
It's hideous. It really is, peeps.
It is not. Make fun of my dog.
When he sees the tree.
Why?
I asked the same question. I don't.
Why? Why are we getting this?
I don't know. I thought they were bloody kidding me. I thought we were getting like a partridge or something. I thought, ooh, a little partridge will follow us around like a little quail or something. No, we get a tree.
It even looks like a giant tree that's scaled down to be little.
Yeah, it's one of the little creepy crawly trees that I hate that jump out and try to eat my face when I go through like.
I don't understand.
And there's 3 different versions of said tree. I don't understand. Not even an ent. It's a huron.
Give us the baby warg. If you're gonna give us an ent, give us a baby warg. There's a lot of people that would love that instead.
Zinker's gonna sit here all week, so we better say goodbye to Zinker. It's a bloody tree, David. It's not a. It's a moving tree, but it's a tree.
I don't get it. Here, I'll call my girl over here too. Come here real quick. Okay, we're gonna be getting these trees as pets. What do you think? You don't know? Kind of what? Kind of useless. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I'd almost wish they hadn't given us a pet. All right, guys. Well, that's.
She said if you guys didn't hear that, all that's going to do is give something for people to complain about.
Okay, it's Horn. Horn? Horon is a Great Lake. This is true. We've been corrected by our pronunciation expert.